rivalry. But as far as how this map goes, there's some major problems with it. For one, the point is so goddamn far away from all the entrances on this map that pushing is a nightmare. You know, sentries, or not sentries, sniper sightlines are really terrible. The shutter, this shutter is so dumb. There's a shutter here, which is like, okay, there's a shutter, but then like, there's an awning above the shutter. Why? Why would you ever do that? Like, there's no way to get in clean. It's just not possible. If I was going to make a Yukon Pro, what I'd probably do is move the point somewhere in a more centralized location. Maybe, like, I think a kind of cool last point would be, like, split this tower in, like, remove this middle section of it so it would have a top and bottom, and maybe put the point in that tower or something. I think that'd be a really interesting last point. And then you'd probably have to open up some of the space around here, maybe. Or maybe close off some of this open space. But moving the point more forward, away from the back, would be really useful. Fixing this awning and making it easier to get in would be important. Adding a little bit more cover to this doorway so that, like, maybe just put a rock, like, right here or something so that people could dry push it, maybe make it slightly wider. Because right now it's just like a tunnel. Tunnels are actually the worst possible thing you could ever put in your competitive TF2 map. So, look, the only way to push out of last is a tunnel, and a tunnel. And these two tunnels combine into one tunnel that is easily spammable. Tunnels are really hard to push through and escape from because it's all in or all out. Like, and it's so easy to spam. You can't, like, freely move through a tunnel. So if they move the last point, rearrange the exits, got rid of the tunnel-like system of it, opened, like, for example, what you could do is turn this into more of a lobby, like a full-sized lobby instead of a tunnel. And then some people have proposed putting, like, an entrance here. If you put, like, a balcony right here, maybe, that led out into, at a 90-degree angle, so it was a little bit easier to break through, or other people have proposed putting a drop down here, and I think that could work as well. A drop down that allowed you to get into this area. Something like that maybe could work. But there needs to be a third way. Right now there's 2 ways. There needs to be a third. And without a third, it's not possible. You could potentially also put an area here. I think that would actually be a good entrance, would be maybe something right here that connected through to here. And this doorway would be way harder to watch because you couldn't amply watch upper and lower at the same time. So people could sneak in through lower and flood in down there, and that would allow these last pushes to be broken, or the second holds to be broken. I mean, honestly, now that I think about it, like, I'm kind of inspired to design a new map that's basically trying to salvage Yukon. It'd be a new map, like, entirely, but using some of the, like, the inspiration that I'm getting from this map. I think it could actually work. CP Banny when? Well, I mean, I made the layout of CP Cardinal for the most part. I mean, I made the initial layout that was eventually turned into CP Cardinal. How about finishing my first map? Yeah. CP Newcon. That's actually a great name. But I would probably call it something else. Anyways, other problems. Okay. More tunnels. Look at this. It's a fucking tunnel. Tunnels are terrible. If you look at the new wave of TF2 maps, the maps have progressively gotten more spacious and wide and open. So going through, like, chokes like this choke is actually amazing. This is actually pretty well designed because it's fairly wide, and it was one of the first of its kind of, like, new maps that wasn't CP Badlands to have an open choke. So this choke is actually was way before its time, and it's actually very, very good. One of the problems with it though is it's very difficult to actually use for high bombs because there's all these rocks in the way and there's very low cliffs. If they raised one of the cliffs up a little bit more, so you could jump off it and maybe get rid of one of these rocks so you could fly in, that'd be a little bit better. Okay, other than that, let's see. It's a tunnel. Like, this is a tunnel. So this kind of stuff is bad. It's just too long to get through, and it creates wraps, and wraps are not something that you really want to be encouraging in your maps. The reason this tunnel encourages wrapping is because you lose vision of everything else. You're like closed off, and you're committed. You can't easily rotate to another side of the map. You lose vision, so if you have two tunnels, two teams could 100% completely avoid each other and just go in a loop around each other. And that's a terrible map. Like, that's not fun at all. You put stickies on the rocks and kill sacking soldier? Yeah, sure, you'd have options for that. This map, so I actually think this second point is pretty cool. I don't necessarily have any major issues with it. I think it'd be nice if there was another sort of area that was fightable though. Because right now you have this choke. I feel like it's a little bit too hard to like go anywhere though from this choke. What I'd probably like to see would be maybe a path or a platform that you could jump on that was over here maybe. So like maybe cut off this rock area here, open up that entrance there, and make this like a standable platform. Something like that maybe. Like a mini spire right there. So you'd get rid of this whole overhang. Oh, I guess there's no overhang actually on this side. There's just a barrier there. So this basically this cylinder of rock, I'd probably remove that and allow you to maybe stand on there. Wraps are fun. Yeah, that's a disciple of Broking speaking. Okay, then we get to the mid. I hate to say it, but it's a tunnel, you know? It's not open enough to feel like, and it's not small enough to feel like a house. I don't think. It's kind of tunnel-esque. At least it plays like a tunnel, and I don't like it. Otherwise, I think the mid is kind of cool, but yeah, again, it's not open enough. There's too much, it's too hidden. Like, you're in mid. Like, you're literally on mid right now, but you're in a tunnel. This is not how it is on Badlands, for example. There is a house. There's a house on Badlands, but you have to leave the house to get into mid. In this, you're inside the house and inside mid. It's too enclosed. So what they could do to fix it would be start breaking down walls. I would probably remove this wall almost entirely. I think that would help a lot. Because there just needs to be better rotations and, like, vision. Other than that, this mid actually wouldn't be too bad, I would say. There used to be a version where the point was actually on the low ground. But I kind of like the mound. That would basically be my one change to this mid. Would be make this house, this tunnel, way more open. So that the point could actually be fought from any area that wasn't inside the point. Because there's not actually any, like, there's not any ground to fight from right now. You're basically far away from the point, or you're inside these hallways. It'd be nice if there was just a little bit more positioning that was sort of close to the action. Maybe moving one of these rocks. You'd probably have to eliminate some of the other rocks. I don't know. It'd start turning into kind of a rock fest. I don't know. Maybe lowering the bridge actually might help too. If the bridge was at this height and this dipped down underneath it, I think that actually would help a lot too. Because then all of this terrain would be relevant towards the point. But as it is right now, this terrain is god-awful for fighting the point. So That's probably something I would try and do. Would I look at your trade offer? I will handle trade offers later. Sorry. When you first played this map, you tried to cap mid by standing in the mound. Yeah. But actually, now that I look at it and like really think about the constructive ways I would change this map, I do think this map has a lot of potential. It's just too late because the map maker would never make any of these changes. If this was like a beta version of a map, I would be like, damn, this is going to be the next great map. But as it is right now, this map is pretty much phased out and will never come back. Unless Valve makes a Pro Circuit and Yukon's one of the maps. That's pretty much the only way this map will ever become relevant again. Or, you know, it'll maybe be in some one-off tournament, like old school throwback tournament, but, yeah. Hey, Paradox. You sent $10 this stream. If you want to get your weapon signed, would you still have to pay a key? Nope. All you'd have to do is provide evidence that you did send the $10 that you claim you did. Is Fastlane salvageable? Maybe. You can compile existing maps, just literally steal it. Yeah, I mean, that's what people did when they made pro versions of maps. You know, CP Granary Pro, CP, or Koth Product. You know, they just stole the maps. But, I don't think pro maps are a healthy thing for a game. So that's a whole nother topic. You don't want to create divergent map versions that are played in different like formats of the game, because it makes your game a lot less approachable. The more like homogeneous the experiences from top to bottom, the more healthy your game can be, because then players can move from the bottom to the top without like experiencing like a jarring transition. Could steal Yukon, rename and reskin it. That would be against my morality. I would rather take the map as a inspiration and build upon the inspiration, and maybe clearly, like, you know, acknowledge that it's sort of an homage to that map or inspired by it. But I would definitely want to start from scratch. I actually think I'm going to do it. Now that I've thought about it, I think it's a really good idea. What about Warmfront? Man, I could talk about Warmfront.